a video on pork belly. I bought pork belly because I'm going to do something else with it. However, I bought a whole pork belly and it comes with the bones. So we'll whip off the bones and then we'll slow cook them in the oven and kind of show how to eat. The bigger meat joints that you buy, the cheaper it kind of is. You're kind of paying bone. You're paying for bone when you buy whole pork belly, but it kind of works out cheaper. Anyway, so you kind of get the bones for kind of free. So if you were to buy these like that kind of size joint in the supermarket, that probably would be a tenner. So I'm getting 3 joints that size plus the bones as well for less money. So it's from the farm shop, so it's what is it, £4.19 per kilo, and there's 4 kilos, so it's £18.49. It's pretty straightforward to to take off the rib bones. So I'll show you, and I'm going to use a cheap supermarket knife because I kind of think it's dead easy to show things with my blunt chef's knives, but most people won't have like proper knives. They'll have something they bought from the supermarket. So we'll have a go at boning it out using the cheap supermarket knife. So plastic out of the way, and then it's just a case of the ribs are, you can feel the ribs, they are there, and they go right the way down to here and there. So it's just a case of feeling your way along the back of the bones like this. So you cut down. I mean, we're gonna eat the rib bones, so we're not that bothered about leaving more meat on than we can. So then it's a case of teasing the meat away from the bones and then just slicing, using your knife to go down the actual rib bones and using the rib bones as a guide. So we just basically do that. I don't think, if I'm honest, buying racks of ribs is particularly economical. I don't think they're cheap to just buy the rack of ribs and cook them. If you're wanting some kind of cheap meat, I don't think they're really worth it. They're nice to eat, but not economical. However, if you're buying whole pork loins or whole pork bellies and you get the ribs with them, then I think they're worth it. So just a case of going down like this. I might have done this before actually when I made bacon. I can't remember. I might have made a video about it. I have done this before, although my skills aren't that good. So it might look like I'm doing it for the first time ever. But this might be in the video where I made bacon. Just a case of teasing down, finding your way. You can always correct. So getting a bit further there. Sharp little cuts is fine. And then we can see, the more you take off the ribs, it's going to see where you're going. And you can tell if you're cutting into bone or cartilage or sinew with the knife. But if we leave little bits on the pork belly, it won't really matter. So see, they've got something there. I don't know what that is, but we just need to cut around it like that. And there's something else there as well, so we need to cut around that as well. So we'll just kind of see where that goes, and we can feel it. You can feel there's something solid there, so we don't want that in. So we'll just cut around that and then follow it along, and then there's something else there that we need to cut around like that, and I think there'll be another something there as well. So there's certainly something there because I can feel it, so we just need to be careful cutting around that. And then we can, this little seam here, we can go down here. Can leave that on the ribs, but I'm going to be doing a few things with the pork belly. So I actually kind of want as much meat left on the pork belly as possible. And then we'll just whip round there. Like that, we can feel some things there, so we need to cut around there. And then we might just be able to whip that off. And that doesn't feel like there's anything there. There's that there we need to be careful of. There's that there. Like that. Like that. So, ribs are off. Not a huge amount, it's only really going to be one person's kind of portion. So, can we feel if there's any bones that we've left in? Doesn't feel like it. Give it a go mash those. No, that all looks like it's fine. So, that out of the way, ish. And then ribs, we're going to cook on a tray. So, tin foil and greaseproof paper, because I don't like washing up. You could just do it in a tray and cover the tray, but I'm just going to do it on a tray, well, in a dish, some tin foil and some greaseproof paper. And then because if you don't use greaseproof paper, it wants to stick to the foil, and that's not what I want, because I want all those crispy bits. I want to eat them. So quickly in your hands, and it's a case of cooking them with whatever you've got. So basically, you can use salt and pepper, or what I've got in the cupboard is some mild Madras curry powder, just that kind of stuff, which is fine. But I kind of use this as an excuse to use up anything that I've got that I think would be nice on some ribs. A little bit of curry powder will be lovely, a bit of paprika and a few herbs and spices, anything you've got. If I didn't have curry powder and I had some cumin and coriander, I would be using cumin and coriander. Do both sides. Don't need to marinate it, you don't need to leave it very long. It's going to cook in the oven for anything between. There's some phone on my phone again. So anything, I'd use it as and anything that you've got in the cupboard to cook it with. You don't need to marinate it, you just need to cook it slow, so it doesn't really matter. We don't need to pre-cook the ribs, it's just we're going to put them in the oven at 200 degrees to start off with. So 200 degrees for half an hour, just so everything gets hot. The only problem with cooking things on a low and slow is it takes ages for the meat to get up to temperature. So we're going to put it in hot at 200 degrees for half an hour, and it'll get the ribs up to they'll be heated through but not cooked, and then we'll turn the temperature down to 120, 130, and we'll cook until they're ready, which I'll tell you how long it takes, but I'm thinking about 3 hours, something like that. So another layer of foil on top, because we don't want them to dry out. You don't have to use the foil underneath and the greaseproof paper underneath, it just means I want to save myself some washing up. So oven on, 200 degrees, half an hour, so set the timer just in case, and then we'll turn the temperature down after half an hour, and then we'll just carry on cooking until they're tender and falling to bits. Right, 3.5 hours later, and they are ready. So, falling to bits, like that. Nice and tasty, easy peasy. Works with any ribs. If they're frozen, they take a little bit longer to cook and become tender. And I don't actually think ribs, they're a treat, but I don't think they're very economical. There's more bone than meat. So as a treat, they're a nice thing. You can get them for free. It's a nice thing. But to buy them, I think not that economical. But delicious all the same.